So we're doing a player profile here on Jack Schierau. Thanks for joining us. I know you're busy with hockey season and playoffs are about to get going for you guys. So thanks for taking the time out. Yeah, if you want to just tell us a bit about you, what's going on and how your season's going.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. Thanks for having me out here. I started playing organized ice hockey in Port Moody at age 4. I played 6 seasons in Port Moody before moving to the Northeast Chiefs AAA program for my second year of U15, and I've been with the Chiefs ever since. I played a year of U17, and then I'm just finishing my second year of U18. It's going to be my final season with the Chiefs, and I'm also the captain this year. I'm looking forward to playing hopefully junior A ice hockey next year. I'm still unsure of where I'll land, but I hope to play 2 or 3 seasons there, and then the end goal is to receive a NCAA Division I hockey scholarship. And then for other sports, I played soccer for about 11 years with Coquitlam Metro Ford, and I also ski raced for a few years with the Grouse Mountain Tyee. And then on top of all that, I've been playing ball hockey with Tri-City now for about the last 8 years, every spring and summer.
Yeah, awesome. Busy schedule for sure.
Yeah.
So your playoffs are starting next week, or?
Yeah, I think we have one more bye weekend, so we start the 8th. Start March 8th will be our playoffs. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So how long is that process? Is it usually a week or 2 weeks, or?
Yeah, so that all depends on how far we go. We finished the season in second place, so 8 teams make the playoffs, and it'll be like a 1 plays 8, and then all the way down type of thing. So we're going to be playing the 7th seed, which is Greater Vancouver. We're going to be playing a 3-game series against them. So we play them Friday, Saturday, and then if needed, there'll be a 3rd Sunday game. So obviously none of those end in a tie. You come out with a win or a loss, and then if you win the series, you move on to the next weekend. So it's just Friday, Saturday, Sunday for hopefully 3 weeks if you make it to that final. And then if we were to win the final, we'd be the BC champs, and then we'd go on to play the Alberta champs in a 3-game series. And then that's kind of considered the Pacific region. So if we were to win that as well, then we'd go to the TELUS Cup, which is the national championships, and we'd represent BC and Alberta.
Very cool. Awesome. Yeah. Well, good luck with all of that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to spend some time and just talk to you about, you've been with ball hockey a long time, and, I guess the question is why Warriors ball hockey? Like what brings you back every year and, make you want to you've been to provincials, you've been to nationals, and this year you're going to the international competition, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, why ball hockey?
Yeah, I mean, ball hockey for me has always kind of been a way to hang up the skates for a bit after ice hockey season's over, but still feel connected to the sport. Obviously, ice is a big part of my life, but being able to get away from that and enjoy something else with kind of the same qualities is huge. I've always been a big runner, so that was kind of the first thing that intrigued me when I was young about ball hockey. It was a way to kind of keep up my speed and conditioning, as well as be a part of what I'd consider like a growing community and a growing sport, and something that I see more and more of every day. And I've always loved that things you can do with a ball that you might not be able to do with the puck, right? Just the creativity aspect allows me to have kind of always new things to try, and also helps a bit with like my hand-eye coordination and all that stuff. So it's just for me, I look at it as a completely different sport, but also a way to stay mentally connected to ice hockey.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. So what have been your highlights or sort of memories of ball hockey that last little while here?
Yeah, so I've been fortunate enough during kind of my ball hockey career to have my fair share of winning and great moments, but I've also definitely had some lows to learn and grow from. So my most recent accomplishment was this past summer. I represented Team BC U17 at the national championships in St. John's, Newfoundland, and we went 6-0 and brought home gold. So that was nice, and I was also lucky enough to be awarded tournament MVP and get selected for Team Canada out of that this upcoming summer. So that's something I could have kind of never imagined, and it's obviously an honor. And then winning and receiving those honors are great, but what you really remember is the group of guys. We traveled a long way, worked really hard to prepare at home for a few weeks, and by the end of it, that's just a new family for me, and I keep in touch with those teammates and coaches to this day. Then going back a bit, last year I was also able to help my dad behind the bench in his provincial run, coaching my younger brother's Tri-City team. Kind of being on the other side of the game is a great experience, and I loved working with the kids to help out in any way I could, as well as kind of do it alongside my brother and my dad. I think that was great for the whole family to see. The team ended up getting silver in the championship in a very close final, so that's an awesome accomplishment for them as well. And then over the years, I've had the chance to represent Tri-Cities at the Western Challenge Cup multiple times, winning a bronze medal once and making tons of new friends and memories all over kind of Western Canada, wherever the tournament be, whether it's local or in Alberta or whatnot. And I think WCC is kind of a unique experience, getting to compete against other parts of Western Canada that you otherwise probably wouldn't.
Right.
And also just represent Tri-City. So that's always been fun. And then the last one is just competing in my own provincial championships for Tri-Cities multiple times, having numerous great runs, and then winning once back in 2016, which is pretty unforgettable.
Yeah, you've definitely been to a lot of tournaments when it comes to ball hockey. We got a short season, but there's a lot of obviously tournaments all over the place. And you captain the BC team to the championship. Yeah,
that's right.
Awesome. So obviously hockey players, they got a lot of superstitions and stuff. Anything in particular that you do, or?
Yeah, so I consider myself quite superstitious. It kind of varies on like the sport, the time of year, things like that. So for ice hockey, I'll start with that. Like we show up 2 to 2.5 hours before every game. So I have a very specific kind of routine from the time I leave my house until game time in order to just get my head in the right space. Ball hockey is obviously a little bit less preparation time, not pulling up that early as a team, but I still like to do what I can at home in order to kind of get my mind right, get my legs right beforehand. So nothing too crazy, but I usually do kind of the same stretches in the same order around the same time from the game start. And then on the floor during warm-ups, I like to kind of take a ball or two and move up to the side by the blue line. And I have a little stick handling routine I do by myself. And then kind of the reason behind it, I find superstitions important for 2 reasons. The first is that it kind of creates a routine. So it helps me stay on time, and eventually it becomes second nature. So I know what I'll be doing each game day leading up to ice and floor times, and I don't have to think about it too much or worry if I'm doing the wrong things. And the second reason is because I find it leaves me with no excuses. If I've done all the right stretches, prepared the same way every day, then after a bad game or a bad day, I can't really blame anything. It's just more kind of comes down to execution and mental focus, and it kind of just takes my head away from like, oh, it was because my stick didn't do this, or because I forgot to do this stretch, things like that. So I kind of like to give myself no excuses and just make sure I'm doing all the right things to give myself the best chance to succeed.
Awesome. So you think obviously the games are similar somewhat, but do you think ball hockey's helped in terms of development for ice, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like I mentioned earlier briefly, I think the hand-eye coordination and stick handling and creativity aspects are all huge. Constantly trying to control a bouncing ball at speed isn't easy, and that's something you don't always get in ice hockey. The other aspect is always having to move your feet, right? As a hockey player, it's easy to forget to move your feet or to get lazy and glide, but in ball hockey, that's not really an option. You're always running and always moving in order to keep up with the play, even when you don't necessarily have the ball. And then with that comes the cardio. So whenever ice hockey season rolls around, I find I'm usually one of the guys in better shape whenever we do a bag skate or something like that. So I'd like to credit that to ball hockey. So those nice little touch-ups are always good.
Awesome. Yeah. What would you tell kids that, don't know too much about ball hockey, whether it's ice guys or lacrosse players or whatever?
Yeah, I just tell kids to be open-minded, give it a try, right? I think at first time you see ball hockey, the concept might seem a little odd or a little funny, which I totally get. But once you get into it and you realize how difficult and competitive it can be, it just makes for a great time. And I also advise that kids with other sports give it a try. I know lots of great ball hockey players on like Team BC and even Team Canada that don't play ice, right? I think it doesn't necessarily have to have a correlation. Like if you can run, if you play soccer, if you play lacrosse, even if you don't play sports, I know guys that just pick up ball hockey and it's kind of natural for them. So like I said, just be open-minded, and it's really a sport that everyone can enjoy and succeed at.
Yeah, perfect. Anything else you would want to tell the kids out there when it comes to ball hockey, or?
Yeah, I mean, if a kid were to kind of come up to me and ask, like, why should I play ball hockey, I'd ask them right back, like, what are you looking for? You know, it doesn't necessarily need to be a hockey player, just any kid during spring and summertime. I'd tell them if they wanted better cardio, better hand-eye coordination, better running, or better speed, that kind of ball hockey is an amazing alternative or addition to the sports they might be doing. And then I'd add that obviously those are all great physical skills to have, but ball hockey is more than that, and it gives them the opportunity to be a part of a team, be a part of something more, create new memories, make new friendships, and learn things like leadership and teamwork and communication, which will obviously last them a lifetime and aren't limited to just the time on the floor. So, yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome advice, Jack. Well, you know, I want to thank you for taking that time out of your day and week to do this with us. Good luck in the playoffs. Hopefully you bring back some more hardware.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no problem. Looking forward to seeing you at the ball hockey rink.
Right on.
Shortly. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jack.